this lesson, we're going to be defining and measuring the area of a figure. Remember, in the last lesson, we looked at the perimeter, or the outside edge of the shape. Now we're going to take off the perimeter and focus on the inside. Last time the fence was the perimeter. This time we're going to focus on the grass, or how much space is inside your yard. So what is area anyway? The definition of area is the surface included within a closed figure, or the space covering a shape, region, or figure. You might remember the perimeter or outline of the state of Virginia, but its area includes more than 47,000 square miles of rivers, farms, mountains, and cities. In your home, the walls are the perimeter of each room, but the floor creates the area or space where you live. A playground designer has to consider the area needed for each piece of equipment in order to make sure the playground is safe. After all, you wouldn't want the swings too close to the slide, otherwise an accident might happen. So let's think about area and investigate how to measure it through the context of a real problem. I went to the store the other day to buy some new carpet for my bedroom, and the man behind the counter asked me how much I needed. I don't know. I know I need to measure something, but what? What tools would I use? What units? Let's investigate this question using a smaller model. Here I have a figure that is similar to the shape of my bedroom, but it's a little bit of a complicated shape, so in order to start investigating area, I'm going to go ahead and cut off this extra piece here and just work with this rectangle. And in order to figure out what area is, or how to measure it, I'm going to try a couple things. In perimeter, we used the ruler, you'll remember, and that was because perimeter was a line. But I want to measure this space, so I'm going to try a line first, and I find that I've got a 5 inches here, and I've got 3 inches here, or I've got almost 6 inches here, and all of these lines are different, and they're not really even covering my figure. So this tool, this linear or length measurement, is not going to help me in area. So I'm going to try something else that I think might cover my figure, because again, that's what area is, covering the figure. And so I'm going to try to cover up my figure with circles. And I'm kind of seeing that the circles aren't working because I'm seeing a lot of that purple sticking through, which means I'm really not covering my figure. So let me try something different. Let me try squares. Let's see if squares work a little bit better. Now they stack nice and neat. That row seemed to work. Looks like the squares certainly are working nicer. And there I've covered all of my purple. I don't see any purple peeking through, and that matches up with my figure. So I can use squares to measure area. And we would call this 5, 10, 15 square units. Now the unit can change. This one in particular is a square inch because it is an inch on the length and an inch on the width. You can also have square centimeters, square miles, square feet, as long as you're using squares to measure area. Now, I'm wondering if you think that that looks familiar, if that reminds you of anything. And it certainly does to me. It actually reminds me of something I was learning in my multiplication unit called an array. So instead of counting all of those squares, I could actually use my knowledge of multiplication in my arrays to say, well, if I have 5 squares going across and I have 3 rows, then I can use 5 times 3 or 3 times 5 to give me 15.
Going back to my problem, I now know that I need to count the squares that cover my space in my bedroom, and that cutting the space into smaller rectangles might make it easier to do so. Okay, let me try that. I see a large rectangle there, and if I cover it with squares, wow, that's a lot of squares. I think I'm going to try the multiplication way. There's 11 squares or 11 feet going across the top of my bedroom and 16 feet going down the side. When I multiply those together, I get 176 squares or 176 square feet. Glad I didn't count. Then the other section of my room I can also cover in squares. Still a lot. Going to multiply again. 12 feet across the bottom and 6 feet across the side. So 12 times 6 would give me 72 squares or 72 square feet. I can't have two numbers. Oh, to find the total square feet of my bedroom, I would just add those two rectangles together. My bedroom has a total area of 248 square feet. So that's how much carpet I need to buy. Now it's your turn. Look at the figure below. Explain 2 different ways you might find the area of the figure below.